May have pushed the guys a little bit too hard in the team meeting this morning. They were a little excited today. But, final opportunity in pads for the starting groups who will not be playing Thursday. We had a great move the ball session at the end. It got heated towards the end, kind of going in there. There were some unbelievably physical plays, some hard runs, safeties showing up, some great rushes. And they just kind of were in a competitive moment. Tempers flared. We try to push the guys to the edge. We went a little bit over. But at the same time, that's the edginess we have to play with. When we have these opportunities, we have to be able to play a physical style of football. And sometimes it goes a little too far. I'm going to talk to the guys this afternoon. It's like, okay, now when you throw a punch, you're gone. So then all of a sudden, where are we at? Where's the rest of the team sit, when that happens? So good teachable moment right there, but a fantastic day at work.
Is there a matter of safety, too, just because hitting hands on helmets and stuff like that? Is that a concern at all, too?
Sure. But, honestly, it's just don't punch your teammates. And don't punch other teammates. Let's make sure that we play with the 46 guys we brought to the game, and that's got to be the focus.
Didn't see who all was involved, but we saw JC, Icky. Did you get a good vantage point of?
There was a lot of guys chirping both sides. Again, this is like the dog days of camp, and this is the one last shot in pads, and they took it, they crescendoed to a place that I want our football to be, and we have to be comfortable operating there.
Do you dislike the fact that it spilled over after practice?
They kept talking. Chuba kind of came up at the end, was like, guys, at the end of the day, we're all family. It's going to get heated like this sometimes, but we got to move forward together.
On the subject of challenging them, I think this is the first time all camp we've seen gassers. What kind of precipitated that? It sounded like Chuba was.
That was all player led. They kind of have been talking to each other, holding each other accountable to the pre-snap stuff that I've been harping on. I'm not a big fan of the gassers. I believe that we practice hard enough. We don't need to do that kind of stuff. And try to add more volume to the high intensities that I'm expecting in all phases. But for the guys, it means something to them, and that was their way of trying to address it today. I think it was one. So, I think the message kind of was taken across the board, and there was a good response that way.
Pushed for the
I have no idea. I was so confused. We were going into 7-on-7, and all of a sudden they're saying sideline, sideline. I was like, no, let's not move the ball yet. And then I was looking what's happening here? And then somebody came up and was like, Bryce and Chuba are having the whole group do gassers right here off of that, pre-snap foul that we had. So
it seemed like there was kind of an attitude shift, I guess, around the Denver, New Orleans kind of time period last year. J.C. Horn kind of got into it during the game. Is there a level of intensity that you guys saw last year kind of brimming that kind of gave you confidence during that run down the stretch?
I think the only way I know how to answer that is I want guys' personalities to show up. And the more that they know what to do and have confidence in who we are and what we're doing, the more their personalities will show up. And we have some guys that are louder than others. I really don't want everybody just trying to take on that personality if that's not you, Trey Merrick hasn't said anything, but I hear him every play because he's smacking somebody. It's a receiver trying to block him. It's a running back in the hole. It's that's just the way he does it, And we have other guys with bigger personalities, and if that's how they are all the time, I want them to be like that on the field as well, within reason, of course, and we got to be, respectful to our officials and respectful to the other team in regards to what happens after the play, but I want these guys to show who they are. I want all of it.
Coach, you touched on Perkins' background yesterday.
Yeah.
Can you just expand a little bit on the character it takes to go down to the UFL drive?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I had so I go through the warm-ups with the guys, and so, Bryce just showed up, and so I was like, hey, I got a spot right here. And so even just today, just enjoying the day, enjoying the moment, and he was like, the one thing that I learned playing in the UFL is guys are playing for the love of the game. It's about passion, it's about opportunity, and it's about proving something to themselves, that they can do this. When the NFL says no, do you just go home, or do you find another place you can play football to kind of prove that? And I just got chills hearing that. I was like, that's it right there. That's the mentality, at any level, especially here where guys can take it for granted. These are the greatest days of our lives. This is a dream. We're living a dream, to be able to do this. So it was a really cool conversation.
Would you like to see UFL become a minor league affiliate of the NFL to, maybe expand the draft and get more players to develop?
I don't have an opinion on that, but I do know that that's useful film that we have to evaluate right now. And so we do take advantage of that. And the communication that happens with personnel departments in the NFL and personnel departments at the UFL, there's a lot of interchange that happens there.
Mike Bercovici yesterday and how he worked. And I know you're big on developing coaches under you. Can you talk about what he brings to the table, not necessarily being the QB coach, but being out there in practice and working with the guys?
Yeah, and having playing experience himself, he brings a wealth of knowledge. He's been in a couple of different systems. He was with Cliff Kingsbury for a bunch of years in Arizona. And he's got to, it seems like everywhere we go, he's worked with or played for somebody. As recently as a friend of mine from Los Angeles, where Burko played high school, at Taft High School in Los Angeles, California, ran into him, at the Houston joint practice. But I think Burko's just, he's made right. He's developmentally minded. He wants to be all hands on deck. He's courageous to bring things up that may seem a little bit out of scheme, and he'll say, hey, I think we should look at this. He's kind of scouring the NFL, scouring the college football to see if there's stuff that we can incorporate. So he's doing a great job.
You challenged the guys before practice.
Yeah.
What was the message?
Last stand pads. Let's capture it. Let's go get it. Okay. Half of our team played a lot of football just a couple days ago, so they had to call it up, and I've just kind of said to them, this is what it feels like on Wednesday after just a really physical game. Every week it's super physical in this league, but you have to you're not fully healthy by Wednesday. You're completely sore still. There's thises and that's, and you have to make a decision to go. And they did that, and I kind of had about half the amount of plays planned at the end and that moved the ball, but it just felt like football. And I was like, there's no way I'm not going to be able to look at Mike, Jack, and JC and Derek. I'm not going to be able to look them in the face if I call this, move the ball scrimmage period right now. They want to play football. Bryce wanted to play. The drive was going on. So,
Give us a quick update on Tremble and Damian Lewis.
yeah. So Tommy is doing great. He's running full speed. He's looking towards just trying to get some more physical contact and get that adaptation part before we can fully clear him. He won't be playing this week, but he's on track. He's had no setbacks, and so we're excited, to get Tommy back on the field doing something, real soon. Yeah, I believe so. But again, that's saying that once we put him through the physical part of it, he's got to push on people. He's got to get some, get his base underneath him and leverage and all that. So we still got a couple weeks to figure that part out. Damian's getting stronger every day. He's getting his stability and strength back. I was told he could play this week if we had to. We're not going to do that because he's still getting stronger. We want to just capitalize on that part as we go into the season. But I wouldn't say he's 100% playing for week one. This is a progression just like anything else. So we'll have to go just week to week still.
Back. Do you anticipate him playing on Thursday?
He will not play on Thursday. He did a great job today in practice, got out there, made a really strong throw. So we feel confident about where he's at. But again, I think this opportunity is huge for Jack, and for Bryce to be able to show what they can do. We know what Andy can do. But I think, just the smart thing for us right now is to just not put him out there in that setting.
Bryson Tremaine just keeps making plays. Yeah. He made several today.
Yeah.
Is there something you want to see from him in particular on Thursday to prove to you? How do you go about evaluating him?
Yeah, the evaluation now is consistency. Can he continue to do it? Can he do it one more time? Can we count on him for weeks on end? That's really a challenge for him. He's doing a great job.
How much more impactful is it when the message is like, hey, we're going to run real quick, or hey guys, we're done with the scrapping, when it comes from the guys? Like how much more instead of the coaching staff?
Yeah, it's ownership, and I think that's when it becomes powerful, when the messaging and the standards of what we're doing is a cultural thing that really is, again, coaches, we set the foundation. We give the information. We give our experiences of things that we've learned over the course of years. But it becomes powerful when the players own it, when the players say, this is how we're going to play defense here. This is how we're going to play offense here. And when they capture that part of it, just like anything else, it's skin in the game. It's like, guys, this is our team, but more specifically, this is your team. Who do we want to say we're going to be?
Dave, you talked about the fact that, guys got after it, they got edgy, there was the scrap, everything. and it's the attitude, the mentality that you want to see. Is it the case that we're at a point in camp now where the guys are just salty enough and they've had it with the little stuff and it's going to spark? And is that kind of where you want this group to be on week one with that? I mean, that edge that they've got to have play in and play out.
Absolutely. There's a stubbornness and a resilience that comes with playing this game. And the challenge is, can you stay focused in those situations? Because if you're flying off the handle and spouting off and saying different things and you're pushing and shoving, but we're not getting execution, then what is that? What good is that? So we have to be able to have both. And you have to be comfortable playing at such a high pitch, emotionally and physically. You have to be comfortable being able to snap back into the next play, but yeah, it takes that kind of want to, that kind of urgency to win in this league. It takes everything you got the whole time. And so that's the mentality. But can we reel it back in, guys, and can we just get back to work here? Which we did in the middle of that drive. We got back to, we had to, get a short break of it, and then we went right back to work and got another 6 or 8 plays, with some really good execution. So.
Coker to play
after Mike, we'll take a question from Sharon.
Do you expect Jaylen Coker to play on Thursday since he missed all the Houston stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. This is just so valuable for him just to kind of make sure that he's still capitalizing on the conditioning level, getting ready for week 1.
Hey, Coach, I know that you take into account the entire preseason body of work with guys, but can this game Thursday night be make or break for some of the guys who are really on the bubble?
Absolutely. Every time we go out there, today was one of those things. Like, guys, we had a full speed special teams period. Feel free to show us that you want to make this team. Feel free to not just kind of give in to somebody's not quite going full speed. Go win. Show us a win. Show us that we can count on you. And this is not just for the roster, but we're talking about the practice squad as well. These are high stakes moments for these guys. Every practice and especially every preseason game, these are the only opportunities that we get. So I'm really excited to see who elevates, who steps up and shows us something. And every year it's like somebody surprises you, and it's like they haven't quite shown up in the first 2, and all of a sudden they got another week of installs, another week of practice, and then they're right back out there, and you see these giant leaps in improvement, especially with the young guys. Like their learning curve is so steep before they have to settle out here, where the veterans are kind of here and they just incrementally have to improve details and technique. But with the young guys, there's huge strides. So we can't make any declarations about who this person is. They will be different next week, I promise you, as they gather more information. So I'm really excited for that Thursday night.
I asked you yesterday, who called the game on Saturday, and then who do you expect to call the game on Thursday?
Yeah, so Brad called the game offensively for the last 2 preseason games. Really valuable opportunity for me, as Brad is the main guy that I rely on during games to feed me information, play sequencing, when to get to certain things. I've been this wingman role for a lot of coordinators in the NFL, and I know how valuable it is as you're searching for plays and somebody in your ear just says, 2nd and 6, they're playing man. Boom, you got the right call. And for me, just the added value for Brad to feel what that feels like, to know here's when that information is appropriate. Here's how to sequence these things. These are the things running through his mind as he's, developing this game, as the game's kind of coming to us. And on the flip side of it, it's for Ajero. We have with our staff, we don't have just a bunch of guys that have called plays before. And every once in a while you have, some veteran coaches who have been coordinators or have been head coaches. We do have some of those guys, but to develop more guys to have those eyes for Cooley and for Pete Hansen, to feel what that feels like, so that when Ajero's asking for information in between drives, it just comes out of a different set of eyes when you get to experience it. But Ajero and I will call this game. And I mean, it may seem weird to people, you're not playing the starters, but you're calling it. But again, it's for he and I to just continue to find the sequence of winning a game, of striving, of making adjustments, and kind of utilizing the new information that the guys have, It was Pete Hansen last week, and then Jonathan Cooley the first week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just kind of building off of Sharon's question, obviously some decisions to make next week. What can guys show you on Thursday to kind of stand out? How do they set themselves apart?
Yeah, doing right, first and foremost. The play style that we always talk about that we're looking for. And then I think, big picture-wise, it's like who can cover kicks, who can make tackles, who can block guys in the return game, on kickoff return or punt return. Those are the things to me that I just can't say enough about. The special teams value that players bring. This is for the practice squad guys too, because we have call-up opportunities. We're not going to call up a guy who can't play on teams because it's not worth it. They're not getting called up typically, sometimes, but typically they're not getting called up to start on offense or defense. They're getting called up to be a depth player available for when someone busts a shoelace and you got to go in really quick. But they're mostly there. They got to be on the coverage units. They got to be on the return units. So are these guys that we can count on, who have the physical, aggressive nature, but also understand what we're doing? And that's what these opportunities are about. Yep. Thank you. Have a good one.
What do you want to get out of that?
It's just another opportunity, just to get better, work my craft, just kind of put everything together that I've been working on this camp and just, go out on a strong note.
Jaylen, looked like that first scrum started after Nick took you to the ground, at least in part. Were you surprised that, that happened and, did it piss you off, I guess?
I mean, it's practice. I'm just going to leave it at practice. I got no comment on it.
Seemed like people, not just you, but a lot of guys still after practice were little, tempers flaring. And Dave just said that maybe he took y'all to the edge and maybe over the edge with getting y'all fired up beforehand. Was some of that good? You think some of that edginess was needed?
I mean, I think you want your team to go out and practice hard. And I think that the practice should be harder than the game. And if, flares are going to fly, tempers are going to fly. So it is what it is,
What have you seen out of Perkins the last 2 days?
He's a good player. I mean, he's, he's brand new to the team, so he's still figuring everything out. But, I mean, he's got a strong arm, smart player, very nice, polite guy. As soon as he came into the huddle, he said what's up to all of us. So he's a good dude.
You didn't know whose idea it was for the offense to run kind of in the middle of that team portion. Where did that idea come from, and sort of what led to that?
I don't know. I was just following instructions.
How have you improved from a special team standpoint this year? From last year to this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think just buying in a little bit more. Coming out of college, you want to be a receiver, you want to be a starter and all that stuff. So I think I didn't take it as seriously. So then to come into this year, bigger room, I got to make an impact in a different way. So it's really buying into special teams, become a better blocker, all around just a better athlete. So that's kind of how I've taken it.
Is there a guy, everybody's talked about like your physical transformation too. Is there like a guy who kind of taught you how to eat and prepare like a pro in that wide receiver room?
I mean, everyone has given me their own advice and tips. And I think just the staff here has helped me a lot to kind of hone in on what works best for me. So no one in particular.
You said you want to be a receiver and all that, but now the special team side of things, is it hard to keep the balance of working on the receiver part of your craft and the additional work you're putting in on special teams? I mean, it seems like they're two entirely different endeavors there.
Yeah, I mean, they're different, but I mean, you can find similarities in between for all of them. So I think if you want to be great, you're going to find a way to balance them both, and that's what I'm trying to do.
The offense has struggled for the first two preseason games. Even with the starters out, how important is it for the offense to gain a little rhythm going into the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to play our brand of football. So, we're going to have Jack out there and, me and the receivers. So, I mean, we're going to have to make plays when they come to us. And it starts with, start running the ball and us catching the football when it comes to us. So we just got to get that ball rolling early.
Feeling health-wise, as Dave said, you had a pretty high fever last week.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Much better. Much better.
Jaylen, Bryce had a deep touchdown to you today, I think, down the left sideline. Y'all were kind of far away from us, so we couldn't see it. Can you just kind of take us through that play and what worked there?
Yeah, I was running out. The nickel buzzed out. The corner went over the top, so I was able to kind of take advantage of that free access space back there, and Bryce put it on the money.
His accuracy has been kind of hard to miss this summer. How do you think he's improved, maybe from working with him last year to this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think he just gets better and better every year. I think it's awesome to be able to play out there with him and learn from him and catch footballs from him.
How are you embracing the pressure of this wide receiver room, because it is loaded and there will be some tough decisions come that day?
Yeah, I mean, I can just control what I can, and what I can control is coming out to practice every day and work and put good things on film. So that's how I look at it. I try not to overthink too many things because that'll just clutter up my mind, and just gotta keep the right path.
Think about the year you had last year and the contributions you made, and think, okay, I mean, I did have a leg up on some of the new faces, or did that not even enter into it?
I mean, I think it's easy to kind of fall into that and be like, I've kind of proven myself, but I try not to think about that because it's a new year every year, and they're, everyone in the league will say it. I mean, they're trying to replace you every single year. So if I don't get any better, then I'm getting worse. So I'm going to continue to work hard and improve myself again and again and again and again, and however many times it takes.
Do you think your pass catching ability and kind of catching balls at the point, at the peak, really sets you apart in this competition?
I mean, I think it's definitely a good attribute of mine. I think a lot of guys have that skill, and I think that's why it's so challenging. We got a lot of guys that can make a lot of good plays and have a good ability to catch the ball, good range, good speed. So I mean, it's just the little things that I'm trying to, tune to, be better and, show up.
Everybody good? All right.
Absolutely, of course, yeah.
Let's do it.
So we heard about Nick after the game. He obviously had a big scare.
Yeah.
You've kind of been in his shoes before. Did you give him any advice or kind of words of encouragement afterwards?
Yeah, man. Basically, one thing about Nick, he's a fighter. He's a dog, and I know he wants to be out there with us. You know what I'm saying? Each and every snap. But I just told him, man, just focus on your health first, because if you're not healthy, you know what I'm saying, you ain't gonna be able to help us. So just focus on your health. And the doctors and the team trainers are gonna do everything they can to get you back right. And when it's time to go, then we'll be ready for you.
Being able to take part in training camp the whole way this year, how much more comfortable do you feel heading into like live reps and playing? Obviously, you play the preseason, but like heading into week one when it actually, the bullets are flying.
I feel good just from the physicality aspect. You know what I'm saying? We hitting, we run into each other every day in practice. So I kind of got a feel for that. Still getting my, footing down. That takes time, but, you know what I'm saying, just being back, being able to bond with the guys and be in training camp and you know what I'm saying, build that standard, that culture that we're building for us. It's pretty good. It feels good to be out there, and I'm ready to go.
Was this a situation today that just kind of the last day in pads, camp ending, and just too much of each other?
Nah, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, we got a lot. That last period was a lot of work for us. I don't know, maybe guys was tired, but one thing I noticed was that competitive nature started to come out, something that we love. And even my coach said it, like, that's something we need, you know what I'm saying, to have within the team, within the guys, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth at each other, pushing each other. And at the end of the day, that's going to keep making us better.
He said he kept calling plays in that last period, even after it was over. Did y'all know, like, oh, we're still going, or?
Oh, yeah, we knew. We knew for sure. It was supposed to be 8 plays at first, but, I mean, you never know what happens on the field. You got to be ready for whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I think we ended up taking maybe 15, 16 snaps, which was good for us, especially the guys that possibly won't be playing Thursday. So, yeah, just building that calories, getting us in shape, getting us ready to go to play football was good.
Unless I missed something, none of those 15 or 16 resulted in a touchdown.
Oh yeah, that's good for the defense. Oh yeah, man, that just goes down to, you know what I'm saying, bend but don't break, you know what I'm saying, back against the wall, offense driving down the field, you know what I'm saying, we can't get in our heads, we got to continue to play, continue to fight, and that's what we did, and that's a step in the right direction for the defense.
DJ, knowing JC as long as you have, how has he kind of grown, becoming a first-time father, becoming kind of a leader on defense, and kind of establishing himself here?
Man, just, you know what I'm saying, him coming into college, not really knowing what was going on. Him and my little brother was close, but, you know what I'm saying, as college and as we started to go throughout, we got a lot closer. Just seeing his growth, his development. He always had that dog spirit, that dog nature, obviously. His pops played in the league, so he kind of came up on that. But, man, just seeing him grow and develop on the field and then becoming a father, you could tell, like, I'm saying it's big to him, it's serious to him. He's passionate about it. He talks about his daughter all the time and how it's new for him and how he's, you know what I'm saying, making adjustments to it. But, I'm proud of that dude just from where he came from. And I'm sure the ceiling's high. He's still got much more to do for this team, for this defense. But, you know what I'm saying, as a person, man, I want to continue to see him get better.
And then Patrick Jones, kind of a similar background. Like, you played with him a little bit older, but how has he grown as a player and as a person since you guys first met in Minnesota?
When he first got to Minnesota, Pat was a little wild child, you know what I'm saying, a little bit all over the place, but, you know what I'm saying, I feel like we kind of came up together in the league. We played together in Minnesota. Obviously, he was a year younger than me, but, you know what I'm saying, we kind of did everything together coming up, and we had, like, good vets in front of us that kind of showed us the ropes. So just seeing that just coming up and watching us mature and watching us grow, and now, you know what I'm saying, we came into bigger roles now, has been good for us.
Through your mind when you saw offense start running those unscheduled gasser in the middle of practice?
Oh man, just keep going. I was praying to just keep going, just keep fighting. One more step, just keep going, keep running. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Like, thank goodness it's not me.
Nah, it was. I mean, when I see that, I love it. You know what I'm saying? That means we're doing something right defensively. So just seeing those guys run, get them a little more tired to help me out a little more in practice.
DJ, do you have any advice for guys Thursday night, the young guys and guys that are like bubble guys? Do you have any advice for them going into this final preseason game?
Yeah, man, just go out and have fun. You know what I'm saying? We've been playing this game since we was 5. Some guys started later, but just go out and have fun. You know what I'm saying? It's at the end of the day, it's still a game. Don't think too much into it. You know what I'm saying? You're more than prepared for what's in front of you. More than prepared. We've been putting in work since the beginning of training camp. So just go out there, play free, have fun, and if you mess up, you know what I'm saying, have a short-term memory, just keep going, and it'll work out for him.
What does Thomas Incoom do well, in your opinion?
He's like a lightning bolt. He just go. Like, he don't really think too much. He just plays fast, you know what I'm saying, and makes a lot of splash plays for us in the backfield just off of his speed and him going. So, and another guy that I'm proud of his development, you know what I'm saying, seeing him come in last year and just kind of develop his pass rush arsenal and his confidence, and he's continued to get better, and you can kind of see that this year in practice.
DJ, you talked about how you guys are trying to build the culture, and sometimes those on-field scraps, pushing on each other helps. Yeah. Is that an ingredient in tightening up the bond of this whole team, that you're on the practice field, you're John, and maybe pushing and shoving, but then you get in the room and you feel closer to the guys that you're going to bring on?
Yeah, for sure. Just growing up, you know what I'm saying, I was in fights, you know what I'm saying, with my friends, and, you know what I'm saying, after the fight, we were best buddies, you know what I'm saying, and it kind of made us closer. And just from a football aspect, it's kind of similar. Just we bringing out the best in each other, you know what I'm saying. We want to see each other succeed at the end of the day, but when we on this field, you know what I'm saying, I'm going at you and you're going at me. And just seeing that today kind of brought that out. We saw it a little bit in OTAs, but today was kind of like a big thing where it just kept going and going. So just seeing that, I feel like it just makes the best out of us players, and we knowing that we come to practice, we got to be ready to go, because I know the offense going to bring it every day.
About also getting your feet under you in this camp, do you think back to where you were at this point a year ago and everything that you were going through, and does it give you a greater appreciation for today?
Oh, for sure. I thank God every morning I wake up, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to do what I love, you know what I'm saying, that's play football and be out there with the guys. But yeah, no, I'm excited to be out there for sure.
A lot about the young guys, 27. Does it feel weird to be like one of the old heads in the room?
It's so weird. I didn't even know I was the oldest till one day Coach had brought it up in the meeting. was like, how old are you? 27. Nick talking about 20 years old. I'm like, hey, I'm looking around. I'm the oldest dude in here. It was different, but you know what I'm saying. Obviously, I've adjusted to it, and they call me old head now. I'm like, bro, I'm not even old. I'm 27, and I still got a long way to go. But nah, it's cool. I embrace it, and you know what I'm saying. It's just being that great role model for the guys, and it's been big for me.
I mean, he's pretty young too. I think he's like 32, 33. What's it like to have a coach that's like so close in age and being able to relate to you guys? I guess a lot of young guys in that room.
It's good because it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, he helping us, kind of raising us, and we kind of helping him too, especially with this being his first head job as a, you know what I'm saying, defensive outside linebacker coach. Just having him being able to like actually show us the drill, show us what we need to do, actually be able to run and show us, and it kind of give us a better feel of what's going on. And just having his energy, I feel like it lights a fire in us every day, just to have him as that mentor for us. So we love AC, and he's getting us better for sure.
Matter to players? I mean, does the age lack of a gap really matter to players? I mean, because probably, what do you know? You're only a couple years old. I mean, that's sort of it, that sort of thing.
No, it don't really matter. Just because of, I feel like he has a lot of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He just been in different organizations, and he's kind of came up and seen different things. So I feel like he's just like old coach. He's ready to go. So that age gap don't really bother us. It kind of helps us because he can kind of relate to us a little bit more, kind of know what we're going through. So yeah, just having him young is good for us. Mm-hmm.